To all the action in the currency space, where the rupee staged a recovery in line with other peers in Asia. The gains came on back of weak dollar index, which has slipped in trades today. The Indian rupee on your screens 0.5% on the higher side, 62.44 is where it shut shop today. Let's also get in there Vikram Murarka. He's Chief Currency Strategist, Kshitij Consultancy, and he joins us on his view on currency as well. Vikram, hi, welcome. How are you looking at the Indian rupee now? Because it continues to be a very choppy trade on a daily basis, but we seem to have cut down on the range that the rupee is trading now.
Absolutely, Manisha. We had these huge ranges that we saw in August and September, and we're at the fag end of September, so it is actually very good and natural that the ranges should now contract, that we get a little bit of stability now. Going forward, I see very little space on the downside in the near term, maybe 62.20 down to 61.85. But beyond that, there are chances that we see it going up to around 64.
Also, would you see a month-end demand kicking in into the prices? And also, how would you look at the crude oil prices trading at a 2-month lows? Would you say that that's something that is something to cheer about as well?
I won't know about crude oil prices per se. I think they're a little uncertain when I look at the charts. More important than the price of crude oil, what generally doesn't get talked about much is the fact that we're seeing a continuous rise in the physical quantity of imports. So whatever, I mean, even if we get a benefit on the price, it's constantly being offset by an increase in quantity. So on that front, we're not really gaining anything for the rupee. So whether unless we go down to say $100 or $90 on crude, I don't think there's nothing much to cheer about out there.
Vijay, what's your sense really coming in for the currency now? So while we have seen a top being made at around 61.45, do you see that level coming in yet again, or would you say that perhaps it's a slow, steady slide is what we are witnessing?
Manisha, if I see 61.5 again, I would love to buy the dollar. And even if it was to go below that level, I think there is a very limited amount of room for the dollar to fall below the 61.5 level. Although a rupee here and there on an intraday basis has become a commonplace, which is unheard of in the currency markets, but I would like to keep a stop marginally below the 60 levels and hold all long positions there. If at all I get it at 61.5, my guess is 64.75 to 65 is likely, because the dollar is ripe for a technical pullback rally.
Vikram, let's talk about the international markets as well, because on one side, the US new fiscal year starts on 1st of October, so there would be a budget announcement to wait out for. And apart from that, the tapering of QE is something that the time since it hasn't come, is something that the uncertainty is back into the markets because of that as well.
I'm glad you talk about this, because last time I was here, I talked about the fact that indices, the stock indices were coming close to resistances, and whether we were going to see a taper or whether we were not going to see a taper, there were good chances that we would see profit taking. So that's happening right now. And just as an aside, Raghuram Rajan had a very, very short honeymoon, and maybe this is going to go down. You know, nobody would, no governor would want to be drooled over by Shobha De anymore. But coming back to the market, I think the debate is now going to turn towards growth. And today we're going to see the new home sales data coming out of the US. If you look at the housing market in the US, the existing home sales is the only chart which is really moving up. The new home sales, the housing starts are all dipping. So if we get a number below 400K today, that's going to be very bad. And I think that is going to, that could very well drive the markets. If I talk about the Dow, I see profit taking coming in at levels above 15,500 over the last 3 months. And there is a danger that we go down towards 14,000 in the next 2-3 months. So that is the big macro picture. And that is going to drive, I think, the equity markets in India, and therefore that's going to drive dollar rupee also, which
Fair
is up.
point. Well, absolutely. Fair point, Vikram, and that is something we will keep an eye on in any case. But with that, it's out of time on the show. Vikram and Vijay, thank you so much for joining us with your sense on currencies.